Both of these individuals love to create chaos. Unfortunately, Tony Ferguson is the one that capitalizes
and actually
the
wins.
most and wins during chaoses.
What's up, guys? The Ginger
and the Bear.
And guys, there's been something heinous going on, and that is that some of you
haven't smashed the like button for the YouTube algorithm, which you totally should.
The MMA gods came and gave us the direct line, and they said that's the real reason that UFC 249 is in jeopardy. You guys have not been making your sacrifices to the MMA gods daily on our like button. So, we have talked about this a little bit before, as we predicted, because again, we have a direct line to the MMA gods. Tony versus Khabib is all but officially canceled as of now.
Hoping that it doesn't. Hoping they postpone it.
Hopefully Trump goes and dials whatever direct line that CNN says he has to Russia and gets on the phone with Putin. They're like, yo, bro, I'm bored in this thing. Let's put on fight. We need blood and circuses for the masses. So let's have Tony and Khabib meet up.
2 months from now. 2 months from now.
It's probably not going to happen. That being said, Justin versus Tony, Gaethje versus Ferguson
has been rumored.
And strongly, like rumored from very good sources, not just like some bullshit Twitter rumor. It's like these are legit rumors that have been going around. If this fight happens, which we both hope it doesn't, because obviously we would much rather rate the 2 months, as any rational fan would, for Khabib versus Ferguson, which is like the most storied matchup probably in MMA history at this point, with the matches getting canceled and all that.
So who would win?
Who would win?
Who would win versus Justin versus Tony?
If it does happen, a hypothetical fight between Justin and Tony.
So basically we have Justin, somebody who is able to shell up, come forward, put that pressure on for 1 to 3 rounds. Haven't really been able to say if he can go past 4 or 5 with the same amount of cardio that he has from 1 to 3 because he's been knocked out.
Primarily a hooker. He mostly hooks.
Yep.
Oh, he throws hooks and overhands. That's his offense from his high guard.
If you guys remember any line, you have to remember Justin is primarily a hooker. He's 100%.
How do you think these fighters are financing their camps with coronavirus, shutting down everything? So and he leg kicks, hooks, and overhands. Essentially, I'd say Gaethje is a very predictable, while still being wild fighter. Like, he throws stuff in a way, in a volume that has a lot of wildness to it that a lot of other fighters won't do, where he's throwing himself into a lot of risk. He's willing to take damage, but in that he still only has maybe 3, 4, 5 different offensive weapons that he will choose to use. He just chooses to use them more frequently and at higher risk to himself than other fighters.
And then you have Tony Ferguson, somebody who has a very, very high output. He always comes forward. He's doing innovative like rolls and trying to go for darts or guillotines.
Wing Chun.
Crazy stuff.
Imanari rolls. Probably has the widest skill set, like the highest bank of tricks in the UFC. I'd say like the way that Jones used to fight was almost as creative as Tony Ferguson back in Jones's heyday, where he was like spinning elbow machine, jumping over people to take their back. And Tony Ferguson does that, but more.
And so fluid and gracefully. And it's actually I think that Justin Gaethje is actually very, very, very stiff compared to Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
And the fluidity that Tony Ferguson brings to his style also, I feel like, complements the damage that he's able to take and his recovery process.
Tony rolls with stuff a lot, which people don't give him credit for. The Canelo like throw his head defense, which is so damn hard. I have no idea how they do it, but they do. They throw themselves with every strike. And Tony will even go a step further and throw himself and roll.
Yep.
And I think it's like we have some weird monstrosity of like human development that's like got gears like going like this, shrieking through the space. That's Justin's wildness. It's like super stiff, super mechanical ball of gears turning together, whereas Ferguson is like a damn tornado. It's
and a tornado that can keep up the pace consistently from 1
to 5. And we've seen that. And we've seen him absorb punishment. And we've seen him not just absorb punishment. I think that his defense, like you were saying, people think he absorbs more damage than he actually does. Because there's a few guys in MMA. I think Nate Diaz is actually one of them. Tony's one of them. Canelo, he's not in MMA. But when they get hit, people think that they get hit a lot harder than they do because they really roll with the punches. Gaethje, doesn't actually have very many defensive tools once you get him against any of the top 5. His defensive tools do work very well against lower ranked, but still like very good fighters from like 5 down to 15, because he has that high guard, which most MMA fighters are not used to seeing. And just, it's the truth. Most MMA fighters, like, when presented with an obstacle that takes out linear punches, they do not adapt to go around whatever guard is being presented to them. And that, coupled with Gaethje's wildness, his willingness to throw in chaos, create chaos, will overwhelm lower level opposition. But Tony Ferguson is actually one of the few strikers, along with probably Dustin, along with Connor, and just a few other names at lightweight, who will work around a guard, who actively scouts, who actively changes their offensive output based on what their opponent is presenting them. And Tony, he throws a lot of stuff around. He throws elbows around, spinning elbows, back fist, just a lot of stuff that comes and would come around a linear high guard like this.
And if either both of these fighters excel in a chaotic environment, but who has excelled the most in chaotic environments? So essentially, both of these fighters love to create chaos, whether it's standing, whether it's on the ground. More so for Tony on the ground, but both of these individuals love to create chaos. Unfortunately, Tony Ferguson is the one that capitalizes
and actually
the most and wins during chaoses, because he's able to submit people more effectively during the chaos.
And honestly, he just causes actually more damage than Gaethje does. Like, you'll ask people why they rate Gaethje so highly, and almost every time the 2 fights that they'll mention are Alvarez and Dustin. Where, there was chaos, there was a lot of damage, but he ultimately ran out of steam and lost. Whereas Ferguson has the gas tank, and I think, like you said, his style facilitates that gas tank, and where Justin has to constantly like start, stop, which is really just hard on your breathing, it's hard on your energy systems. Tony is very fluid. He's not really stopping and starting, which is the main impetus of gassing. And I don't think Justin has the technicality to go toe-to-toe in the whirlwind in the striking department. I don't think Justin has anywhere near the submission grappling that Tony does if it does go to the ground. We have not really ever seen Justin go against a real submission specialist. I don't think that Justin has the cardio. I just don't think any way that this fight goes, unless it's a real flash KO, that Justin has the advantage. Because even if he knocks Tony down, I feel like then he's entering his wheelhouse.
And not only that, Tony Ferguson, time and time again, has shown that he is, I will say, without a doubt, the best individual to be able to recover from a devastating shot. He recovers so quickly, and the way he moves already makes it seem like he's more damaged than he actually is, and it very much will bait somebody like Gaethje to try to finish him and then get submitted.
Jump into a triangle. Like, jump to try to land a punch, triangle. I think that it's a 2-round fight. I think it'll either happen very similar to Cowboy, where Tony just breaks him with attrition, or I think that Tony might get knocked down early and get into a ground exchange and submit Gaethje.
I think one thing that I do find interesting, like we do know that Gaethje is a hook kind of guy, a hook kind of fighter. He rarely rather goes straight down the middle.
He'll go up and over down the middle, but he doesn't keep things tight.
He'll throw a nice right overhand, but Tony Ferguson, and I don't know, I'm speculating pretty hard here, but Tony Ferguson likes to lift up his chin.
That's true.
And has he done this because most MMA fighters actually hook? And so if you have your chin here and you have a long neck and you go like this with each punch, most likely the hook's gonna miss where the target is.
It's like very devastating if it does land on the button, but it's a very small target area. Is that what you're saying?
It's very, very sharp, but also it goes up, so it's chain. Not only is he rising his neck up, but he's lifting his chin up. And if you go with a straight punch, it makes it smaller. But if you go with a winging hook, it's probably gonna miss or maybe hit the neck. But with an overhand,
he would be looking right into it.
He would be going right into it. So I can see probably a flash knockdown. Do I think it would actually knock out Ferguson? Probably not, because he has a great chin, and then from there, I think he would be able to submit Justin.
Or just make him work on the ground, which would probably lead to him gassing out.
Absolutely.
Great chin, great recovery. It's a crazy fight. Also, I think the offense Tony throws mitigates a lot of the offense that Justin throws.
Yes, because Justin has to keep coming forward. If he's not coming forward, as you saw with the Alvarez fight, as you saw with the Dustin fight, he does not operate well going backwards.
And just even the weird Wing Chun blocks that Tony does, which good luck finding someone to imitate that in camp. Like seriously, good luck.
Well, he's not gonna have a camp.
Oh, that's a good point. But good luck finding anybody to work with, even just like in your gym that does the Wing Chun blocks that Tony does. I kind of feel like because Justin is very high guard, you see this with a lot of boxing fighters where the high guard is so much more common. One of the best ways to mitigate a high guard is people literally lean on it. Yep. And with MMA, with the small gloves, you'll see, I bet Tony will literally just grab him and turn elbows over.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because it's literally a high guard. And in boxing, you see a ton of guys like Lomachenko. The new like meta that's evolving is guys who get people to shell up. Even Canelo does this. They shell the guy up. Then they either hook around him, lean on the guard so that, like, lean on me, Alex. Like when you lean on them like this, they can't effectively punch. They have to drop down and hit. Yep. And I just think Tony's going to be really able with those giant ass hands get wrist control on Gaethje, because he's basically teeing him up on a platter to do so. Yeah. And even if he doesn't get wrist control with this high guard, Tony can grab it there. If he doesn't grab it, like even if he's just in front of it, Tony's weird wing, just do this.
Yeah.
Just do this and try to hook around. If Tony's doing this, like straight punches would get through, but I think hooks would be blocked. And this is what Tony does. Like this weird shit. And I just think that all the weird shit that Tony does specifically makes it incredibly hard for Gaethje to hit him unless Gaethje brings a really compact straight punch, which is why the McGregor-Tony matchup is so interesting. Yep. That being said, guys, if you see it differently, chime in the comments down below, because I think we both favor Tony incredibly highly.
The main difference is that Justin fights very, very chaotically, but once he gets into that chaotic fight, he doesn't have a game plan that actually, like, he's able to create these chaotic environments, but he's not a strategist and he's not able to capitalize on the chaos that he brings, and Tony Ferguson does.
And he has very low strike diversity. Yeah. Like, he has very low strike diversity. It's the same thing within the chaos over and over again, and the cardio. I just don't.
There's no way. You're throwing Justin into a meat grinder. And you're risking, because Tony Ferguson probably will get injured from this fight.
He'll probably hurt himself.
He'll probably, and then it's just like, okay.
He'll probably blow out his knee and still win the fight, because that's the most Tony Ferguson thing possible.
And then on top of that, you're throwing away the Khabib fight, so Khabib's gonna fight Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor's gonna get smashed because he didn't have another legitimate tune-up fight besides Cowboy. And
we're salty.
It's just so stupid. It's so stupid to do this for both people's career.
For Gaethje's sake, too, honestly.
For Gaethje's sake, I mean...
At least let him have a training camp if he's going to take on a bad matchup.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, Gaethje doesn't match up with anybody well past where he's ranked. He matches up with so many people well below him.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
sucks. Like, it sucks to be in Gaethje's position right now. That being said, guys, Ginger...
And the Bear.
And we out. Ooh, Gaethje Khabib could be fun, though.
That would be
fun.
That would be great. Bye.